And authorizations of payments?
No claims today.
No claims today. Okay, reports of committees. We had the committee of the whole committee earlier, and I gave that report. Anyone else? Okay. Unfinished business. Unfinished business for proposal number 3. Madam Clerk, would you please read the title of the ordinance into record?
Proposal number 3, 2025, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Lawrence, Indiana, amending Title I, Article 2, Chapter 5 of the Code of Ordinance of the City of Lawrence, Indiana.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. This proposal was referred to the Committee of the Whole for consideration and recommendation to the council, and it was extended for an additional 30 days. Thank you. Any further discussion on that? The next agenda item is proposal number 6, 2025. Madam Clerk, would you please read it into record?
Proposal number 6, 2025, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Lawrence, Indiana, amending Title III, Article 3, Chapter 13 of the Code of Ordinance of the City of Lawrence, Indiana concerning graffiti elimination.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. This proposal was referred to the Committee of the Whole for consideration and recommendation to the council and received a favorable recommendation. We will now consider a motion to approve Proposal 6. Thank you, councilors. Any further discussion? None, we will proceed to vote. Thank you, councilors. It passed. Next, we will have new business. Resolution number 8. Madam Clerk, would you please read? I don't have 7.
Madam President?
You have 7 on your agenda?
Yes. 7 is the Code of Ethics, so I think you first take that.
Committee.
Okay, sorry. Proposal number 7, 2025. Madam Clerk, could you please read this as a matter of record?
An ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Lawrence, Indiana, adopting a Code of Ethics.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. This proposal will be referred to the Code of
Code Committee.
Code of Enforcement. Code of Rules.
Yeah. Code of
Madam President, will that be the first of the month meeting? Or
I'm sorry.
will it be the same day of the first of the month meeting?
That would be up to the chairperson.
Thank you.
Okay, next will be resolution number 8, 2025. Madam Clerk, would you please read the title of the resolution into record?
Resolution number 8, 2025, a resolution of the Lawrence Common Council approving a designation of Sunnyside to Oakland Economic Development Area and adoption of an economic development.
Okay, is there anyone here to discuss resolution 8?
Good evening, Madam President, members of the council. My name is Russell Brown, an attorney with the law firm of Clark Quinn. Business address 320 North Meridian Street, Suite 1100 in Indianapolis. I have had the pleasure for the last 2 years of representing the Redevelopment Commission as their counsel. This resolution comes before you tonight as the first step of creating a new economic development area in the city of Lawrence. As the title says, this is effectively an area that stretches from the corner of Pendleton Pike and Sunnyside up to the Oaklandon and Pendleton Pike area, a little bit north to the tracks on Oaklandon. And this is the first step in creating having potential to create future TIF areas within that area for economic development. The creation of an economic development plan is the first step. You have to have an economic development plan before you can create an allocation area. And so the Redevelopment Commission has been talking about this for most of the last year, about creation of a second, actually this is our third economic development area within the city. There are no TIF, no allocation area or TIF districts that are presented tonight or that are part of this consideration. From a process perspective, this typically has 4 steps in the process. The Redevelopment Commission makes a declaratory resolution commencing the process. They adopt a plan, and that plan includes a map. They then forward it to, in most communities, forward it to the Plan Commission, who makes a determination that the plan does not interfere with the comprehensive plan for your community. Lawrence is the one of two exceptions to that. It then only comes to you as the council. So most communities it goes to Development Commission, Plan Commission, Council, then back to the Redevelopment Commission for a confirmatory resolution. That requires a public hearing, which is scheduled to be heard tomorrow. We've noticed that for a hearing by the Redevelopment Commission tomorrow. So tonight, this resolution would be requesting from you that there is no negative impact to the city's economic development plan, economic development activities by the creation of this plan. If and when a TIF area is ever created, that comes back to this council for your review and consideration. So it's not something the Redevelopment Commission can do without any say-so by this council. So tonight's request is to approve resolution number 8, which designates the creation of a new economic development area, the Sunnyside, to Oaklandon Economic Development Area. I'm happy to answer additional questions that the council has.
May I ask
Any
a question?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the corner of Sunnyside and Pendleton Pike where the paint store is and the Steak and Shake, and then there's a wooded area, and then it's the gardening center, and then, so how
Residential.
wide would this be, and
So you approximated the boundaries correctly. So it starts at that corner. I do have a map. I apologize, I didn't bring copies but this is the area.
Can I see that?
So it essentially starts, it does not include the Walmart parcel, but includes almost everything else at the corner of Sunnyside and Pendleton Pike. Runs mostly only one property deep along Pendleton Pike until you get to the corridor or to the corner of Oakland and Pendleton Pike.
So it's both sides of the street?
It is for most of that duration, yes, except between Paradise Nursery and kind of the Arby's. It does not include the north side of Pendleton Pike because there are no commercial activity. There's no commercial.
Yeah, that's residential.
activity. So we tried to omit as much as possible where it was purely residential because there's no value to add that to a TIF unless you're going to do a housing TIF. So we tried to capture as much commercial-only areas, and the goal being that if you have an economic development area, you can perhaps spend TIF dollars within that economic development area, even if it is not within the same allocation area. And so the goal would be if you had a project that occurred at the corner of Sunnyside and Pendleton Pike, but you had a need for investment at Oaklandon and Pendleton Pike, if they're in the same economic development area, you could perhaps utilize funds from that TIF district in that same economic development area. The other alternative would be to create a Sunnyside and create an Oaklandon. And the commission's determination was that they thought it was best to try to have it all in one, so that if there was activity in one side or the other, you could perhaps utilize those funds in the nearby area.
So it includes like the Kohl's and all of that, the Kroger, that's where the increment's coming from, really? That's the big
There's no
commercial.
increment yet, because we're not passing, we're
The
not.
TIF
creating-
yet,
yeah,
but
so
that's where the economic, I was just
Correct,
developing,
yes.
okay.
That's the concept, yes.
That's the concept.
But the end goal is the TIF.
The end goal would be, you know, you heard a project for rezoning, you know, on Oak Landing near the railroad a few months ago. And that would be the type of project that you could perhaps consider TIFing, if and when that if and when a development came forward that there was a need expressed and there was a return on investment that was determined to be appropriate. That has to go back through this same process, redevelopment commission to you, back to the redevelopment commission.
So just one follow-up question. Sorry, Councilor Wells.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
What, just procedurally, why was the public hearing noticed before this came before the council?
Because the next matter is time sensitive. The resolution 9 is time sensitive and needs to be accomplished by the end of the year.
And tell me why.
I'm happy to talk about that when we're talking about resolution 9, but that relates to.
Well, I guess they tie, right?
They don't tie. We're running them together to try to save expenses, frankly. I'm trying to run them at the same time to save expenses for the redevelopment commission, to get them in place so that the matters can move forward. I communicated with the council president about 45 days ago, trying to lay out a process for this matter to come here. And I did. The redevelopment commission only meets once a month, and so it just happened to coordinate that it happened tomorrow for that redevelopment commission meeting. So that's why it was noticed in advance, to try to get this done before the end of the year, and also accommodate the redevelopment commission, which has 5 volunteer members who, you know, trying to meet with their schedule, not add another meeting to their calendar.
May I ask, are there any particular businesses in mind? Have you been approached by anyone?
I'm counsel to the redevelopment commission. I am not the executive director. I don't necessarily see all those. Mr. Goodnight often hears many of those. The one at Oak Landing, the one that came for rezoning several months ago, is the one that started kind of the discussion about creating a second economic development area. The reason, then you have obviously undeveloped property that's near the corner of 56th and Sunnyside that has been long undeveloped, but the idea being that perhaps if there was a TIF area or there were economic development dollars to allocate towards that, that perhaps that could start some economic development activity there. The other thing, frankly, has to do with the age of some of those buildings. Many of those buildings are in their near 20 or 25 years old, which oftentimes is the useful life of some of those commercial developments. So you'll see things like the Taco Bell's had a big refurbishment rate recently. The Burger King is undergoing one currently. The Arby's has in the last several years. Notice the Rallies that was out in front of Walmart came down. So a 20 to 25 year lease in the commercial world is pretty typical. Many of those things are nearing the end of that 20 to 25 year kind of initial stage. And so we thought if you captured all of those together, perhaps there will be refreshing or reinvestment in those areas that could allocate opportunities for increased assessed value.
Thank you.
Gonna pull that in.
Councilor
Russell?
Chavis, if I might, just to go back to your question, I've not done this before this committee, before this council. I've done it in other communities. And so it is very typical to kind of just line them up at the next council meeting and try to move it forward that way. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful of your process, but I think now I know how to better maybe the expectations of the council to have these introduced and considered at a committee. So I understand that going forward.
Thank you, thank you.
Russell, if I may, this would actually, if we pass this would be a sort of a tax reduction, and the money would go to the redevelopment?
No.
It wouldn't go to the general fund of the city as?
The action tonight on this does not create, it doesn't create a locked-in base AV. It doesn't take any of those actions. That would be the creation of an allocation area, which is a separate and distinct step. Some communities run them together. The communities I represent don't run them together because I don't think that's fair to add an economic development plan and an allocation area at the same time. I think it's better to have a more thorough and thought-out process. So there is no allocation area that's proposed here tonight. If and when an allocation area was to be created, at that point, yes, you would freeze your AV at that base year and perhaps dedicate those funds to an economic development project. But that's not what is proposed for this economic development area tonight.
Well, I don't know how the rest of the council feels, but to me, this is a pretty big deal, and we're hearing about it right now. I mean, yeah, to me, it just seems a little irresponsible to vote on something of this magnitude in just a snap of a finger. But
I understand that perspective. Your role is relatively limited. I mean, statutorily, you have a very limited role in this review, but this has been considered and heard at multiple redevelopment commission meetings over the last several months, to which you have 2 appointees.
Councilors, any further questions? Councilor Jennings?
Well, I was going to ask a question about, a follow-up on Liz's question about where businesses are potentially going. I seen you look back at the, Good Night. I just wanted to know, I was going to ask, but because we want to, in lieu of taking our time, I want to make sure, I'll just withdraw my question.
Okay. Any further questions? Discussions? Thank you. Do we have a motion? Thank you, Councilors Giles and Councilor Jennings.
To make a motion for approval.
Questions?
Excuse me, can we have discussion
I thought we did.
after the motion?
Oh,
Yes, ma'am.
I would recommend that it be assigned to committee so that we can digest this. For me personally, I'm not prepared to vote right now.
I agree.
Just send it to a committee or?
You gonna make a motion out of that, Lisa?
So you don't need one. Yeah, I'd like,
Whatever this is, whatever the motion as to submit to committee needs to be motioned and seconded, and then that would.
okay. The only reason that I want to make sure that I was putting the motion for approval to make sure I heard this correctly is that I know that we're starting the first step to a possible TIF is the big thing that we're concerned about. But as of today, setting it as an economic development zone doesn't change anything. It just gets us one step closer.
Yeah, that's my thought.
well, but we're going to do 8, then we're going to do 9. So if you're going to do 8, you need to do 8 and 9, or it does them no good because they're trying to do both. If I understood Russell correctly, they're trying to do both as a cost-saving measure. So so if we do 8 and we put 9 to committee, what does that do for you?
During the motion, I want to make sure I'm not out of line.
Right.
I think we're in discussion.
We're in discussion.
But
You can
I want to answer that question.
Yeah, so part of it was just professional fees, doing that all at one time instead of splitting them up or doing that. The fees that would be lost is we have about a $500 public notice advertising that's occurred for a public hearing tomorrow that would have to be redone if you table this and the public hearing doesn't move forward tomorrow. So that's, and it's for each, they were each individually advertised, so it's about $500 that you're losing. The redevelopment commission is burned, and we have to re-spend. The other costs have been, they are what they are, they've already been spent. But that would be a cost that would have to be eaten and redone, because you have to have a 10-day public notice for a public hearing for the consideration of this by the redevelopment commission.
So did you notice the public hearing for 8 and 9?
Yeah, yes.
And you, in that notice, $500 is the total for both?
No.
It's per.
Yes.
So it's only a savings or not a detriment if we do both. Because if we do one, if we don't do either, it's $1,000. If we do one versus the other, it's $500.
Correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure I understood that.
Committee as a whole. Okay, we're going to,
I have one other question.
I
This
didn't
has
pull
to
my
be
motion.
a unanimous vote for it to
It's a
pass
resolution.
use a res,
It's a resolution.
It's a resolution, it's a motion.
for on first reading, okay.
okay.
I didn't pull my motion, did I?
Any other questions? Discussion?
Well, oh, okay. I was looking at the board. I didn't know if it was still the motion on the floor or was it, I got a little confused.
I think what happened is you had made a motion for approval, then there was a discussion, possible motion regarding to submit it to a committee. So then I think it was just cleared off. So I think we're just status, quote, nothing has happened at this point.
Okay.
So if someone would like to make a motion, either adopt or to move it to a committee, that is the time now. But we all just need to know what you're actually feeling.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to assign it to committee.
I like to second it.
Okay, you need to, yeah,
Yeah, oh.
motion, make a motion.
There I am.
It needs to be seconded. Okay, thank you, counselors. This is going to be assigned to,
You got to vote.
You have to vote.
vote to assign it to a committee. Thank you, counselors. Assigned to a committee as a whole. Okay, next on the agenda is Resolution Number 9, 2025. Madam Clerk, would you please read the title of Resolution 9, 2025 into the record?
Resolution number 9, 2025, a resolution of the Lawrence Common Council approving a second amending declaratory resolution of the Redevelopment Commission for Pendleton Pike Allocation Area.
Would someone please come forward? Thank you.
Resolution 9 has went through the same process that I described for Resolution 8 to get to you tonight. This also is scheduled for a public hearing tomorrow. This is, however, more time sensitive. This is a resolution that requests to amend the current Pendleton Pike Economic Development Area by removing 2 parcels. The part of what we have done, as we've utilized Baker Tilly as the financial consultant for the Redevelopment Commission, is to review that allocation area and how current assessed values relate to base assessed values. So very basically, when you create a TIF area, this was created in approximately 2007. Those base values were locked in 2007. The Redevelopment Commission gets TIF revenue off of increment. However, if you have parcels that have decreased in value, that increment doesn't exist. So you actually are losing income to the Redevelopment Commission by the negative growth of those parcels. We have 2 parcels in the Pendleton Pike Redevelopment Commission, the redevelopment area, that have had dramatic negative growth during that time. And so the request of this declaratory resolution is to remove those 2 from both the plan, which we talked about, and also from the allocation area. In doing so, that would have a positive impact on the income coming into the Redevelopment Commission to the tune of, I believe it's approximately $100,000 per year. So it is a sizable amount of money that the Redevelopment Commission is missing out on by these parcels continuing to be included. But it doesn't create a donut hole. It's not 2 parcels in the middle that we're picking out. It's 2 parcels kind of on the edge of that allocation area. They're, frankly, the discussion we had is that they are parcels that do not appear to be ready for economic development. And that is, whether that's by choice of the owners, whether that's by some other outside forces, they do not appear to be primed for redevelopment, and there's no redevelopment opportunities that the redevelopment commission can participate in on those parcels. So that is the request tonight. The reason that this is time sensitive is that this needs to be completed before year's end, because this will impact for assess 25, pay 26. Everything goes back to January 1st of this year. And so by doing this, considering and approving this resolution, then the redevelopment commission can take that act and make this effective before the end of this calendar year. Additionally, a very technical reading of the statute is on those parcels that are subject to that, we have to give notice to the taxing districts of that pending action. A very strict reading of the statute says that no permits can be issued in that area while this is pending. So that does create a little more time sensitivity as it relates to this resolution versus the previous one. So with that, I would ask for your approval of this so that a public hearing can be held tomorrow on this matter, and appropriate notification can be made to the Department of Local Government Finance for effective for the assess 25, pay 26 cycle. Happy to answer. Sorry to go sit down. I'm happy to answer questions.
Any questions?
You got a quick motion and second.
Yes.
No? Even before I was done talking.
Can we know
Yeah, it's still
specifically what
discussion.
the areas are?
I'm happy to, they're part of the resolution that's before the RDC. I don't feel like it's appropriate to talk negatively from the podium about two parcels or their ownership.
They're undeveloped
They're
property, underdeveloped properties that are losing tax increment for the redevelopment commission
in very dramatic ways.
in over 18 years.
Correct.
I'd like to know
get 'em
what
out
the
of-
parcels are.
That one's easy.
I'm happy to share that information with you. I, again, prefer to not
Right.
do it from the podium.
Oh, thank you, Russell. Appreciate
Thank you.
it. No, it's professional.
Okay, councilors, we have a motion to, and a second? To approve?
Motion to approve.
Okay. Thank you, councilors. Any further discussion before we vote? We can take a vote. Thank you, councilors. It passed. Next, we will have comments from the administration.
No
You
comment.
have a question?
Comments.
You no comments?
Yep.
Oh,
No?
no? No? Jamie, would you like to share anything that's coming up?
Madam President, Jamie Wyrick, Director of City Events. We today actually had our Thanksgiving gathering. We served about 70 veterans and seniors today, a full Thanksgiving meal. They had some entertainment, they played some games, so it was a great turnout and a good time. Then next Saturday, November the 29th, we have our Lawrence Christmas. We have a variety show, we have a parade, and we'll light the tree. So that is from 6 to 7. The parade will actually kick off at 5:30 and make its way from the government center down to Lawton Loop over Otis over to Civic Plaza. And then the variety show will start. That's all we have right now.
Okay.
All right, that's
And we
good.
will be having, Lawrence Police Department's doing a food drive on the 24th from 4 to 6 at the community center. And then we are hopeful to be partnering with Moselle Sanders to give away some dinners on Thanksgiving as well in the Lawrence community, either here and doing a drive-through or possibly delivering as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jamie, has the fire department come up with a date for the Christmas?
They have, but I do not have them at the top of my mind right now. I can find those out for you and send you an email.
Can we find out by the first of the month meeting?
Yep,
Thank
sure
you.
can. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have citizens' comments, and you shall limit yourself to 3 minutes. And we have Joyce Irvin.
Baby.
Thank you for hearing me. I am Joyce Irvin. I am a longtime city resident of the city of Lawrence. I reside in the Winfield subdivision. You can hear me. Off of 56th Street. The Indian Creek Common Strip Mall is in very close proximity to the homes on Sedgegrass Drive. And just to give you a visual, if that was my backyard, that wall was my backyard, this is about how close that strip mall is to our homes. There's a 6-foot fence that's about 30 years old that is between our properties and the back of this strip mall. Over the past several years, Buffalo Wild Wings occupied a space in that strip mall, and while they were there, they were the root of numerous problems that spilled over into our neighborhood, such as noise violations, numerous, employee fights in the rear of the building, trash and debris being dumped in our yards, police chasing criminals through the alley, and there were property damages when an employee drove his vehicle through one of our neighbor's yards, through our fence and through the yard. Just to name a few. It is rumored that another bar, restaurant type of business is going into that building. I'm gonna use the word "we" because I expected 4 other residents to be here with me. We are seeking information about the business that will be occupying that where Buffalo Wild Wings was, and wondering how could we proactively work with the city of Lawrence to prevent similar issues spilling over into our neighborhood.
Okay.
Thank you.
Whose district is that?
It's mine.
Okay.
I do have some information for you. We can talk afterwards.
Oh, great, thank you. Thank you for hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are adjourned.
Oh, no. You're fine. It's okay. Yeah, it'd be definitely.
Hey, Rick, you'll be happy. One of the food trucks.
Really?
Yep.
That's one.
I sign anything?
What, one down, what, 30 to go?